Thank you. Yeah, so I am Sharon D. Brown, and I'm the founder of Self Care U Academy. And that's pretty much where I help, entrepreneurs and business owners and leaders use self care to be successful in life 10 times over. Because the more that you take care of yourself in every aspect, the more successful you'll be in your life and in your business. So, what I wanted to focus on today is to pretty much talk about the repetition of doing something, especially doing something new. When you want to either like have a new habit, or you have a task or project, or you whatever that new thing is that you want to change. A lot of times we talk about it takes 21 days to change a behavior. While that is true, but to go a little deeper inside of that, you kind of need to know why and what to do. And even when it comes to the 21 days, I would say it really takes more than that. It really takes like 90 days to be solid in that new behavior. Because if you ever notice that when you start doing something, you may skip a day and then you may not do it, and then sometimes you end up giving up. But that is because it's not a part of you yet. And that's why it's so important for you to be able to do something again and again and again. And for people who play sports or who play an instrument, they're more aware of this because you got to practice. And it reminds me when I was, in high school, I ran track. And in high school, I did really well the years that I practiced, but my senior year, I didn't practice as much, and that was only because I had other things going on when I wasn't able to participate. But when I look at my performance was superb when I practiced, but it was subpar when I didn't. So when it comes to you, like when you're whatever that thing is, it's a new task. It could be a new job. It could be a new hobby. Whatever it is, you have to do it over and over again. And when I say that you do it, you really become it. Like for instance, I'm an entrepreneur now. When I first came into this place, I didn't know nothing about no entrepreneur and still learning. And part of this probably is part of the reason that I'm learning, because I'm talking to myself as well, But part of it too is, let's just say, like when it comes to being on videos, like one of the reasons that I am good at this but still, I'm still learning to be better, is because a few years ago, I knew it was something that I wanted to do, but then, really didn't. He's like, oh, well, I'm a little shy, so let me build this up. And so by me doing this over and over and over again, I became better. Like I say, of course, still improvement, but this is how you can become better at doing something. You do it anyway, but you do it and do it and do it and do it. So don't give up. The other point that I want to make, because this comes up when I'm talking to clients and when they may have some intrusive thoughts or trying to overcome something. And when it comes to the mind, the body, and the spirit, it all works together. And so what that means is that even when you want to do something and you even know your why, but if you're not actively doing it, it's like our subconscious is saying, oh, well, you don't want this? So you have to overcome that. But the only way to overcome that is to be able, like for me, to be able to show up, to be able to do more videos. And so like whatever that thing is, the task, the habit, is really important for you to do it again and again. And then also when it comes to repetition, I don't know who said it, but pretty much they say if you want to be an expert at anything, you need to have 10,000 hours. And I say 10,000 hours, 10,000 repetition. So one of the things that I tell my clients so that they can give themselves some grace, because sometimes they may not always understand why certain things continue to happen or why certain thoughts, or they're not able to overcome something, even though it could be the counseling and all the intricate things that happen in that. But when you really understand the mind, the body, and the spirit, and I always say it's kind of hard to completely verbalize because they work together, but it's the part of us that is doing as we are becoming the thing, not even the thing, but becoming the person, and to overcome the resistance. Because the other thing is that sometimes we'll have intrusive thoughts. It's like, oh, well, where you're no good at doing this. Well, look at this. Like, for instance, one thing that I notice is that when I speak, and I'm trying to be more aware of it, it's like I smack sometimes. It's like, and that is just an observation. And so it just means you're being intentional and paying attention to yourself and say, okay, how can I course correct that? It doesn't mean you're a bad person, but if you stop, that's the message that you are giving yourself. So this is where our action can play a part of us. So our internal sense of like keeping us safe will have a big resistance. It will pretty much flag it as a danger, like, oh no, stop, you don't need to be doing this, because you're uncomfortable. But the more you do it, the more you embody it, and then it helps you to have pretty much confidence, make you feel good about yourself. But it also helps build resilience, because you are telling yourself that you can overcome something. And sometimes I think that's why sometimes we can give up on things in life at times. But if we're not constantly intentionally training ourselves to even just stick with something, and I would say go beyond the 21 days, because the 90 days you're gonna really be fighting, and you have to like have tasks and just do all kind of things to stay on task. But also don't beat yourself up. I would just say just do it again. But also with that, before I end, it's also important not just to do it every day, but to be able to breathe it, to be able to see it. It's like come up with affirmations or mantras or declarations of the thing that you want to achieve, and to be able to put some pictures up where you can see it. Because we as humans, again, it's about retraining ourselves of who and what are we becoming. So we need to be able to see it. We need to be able to feel it. We need to be able to stand in that power. But the only way to get there is to do it over and over again, so that this is kind of like the renewing of your mind, the renewing of your body, the renewing of your spirit, and the renewing of who you are. But it's to be able to embody it. If you're not doing it, you can think about it, you can learn about it, but the doing it allows you to embody it, to become it. And this is why repetition is so important for you, and it's a self-care act.